Hi everybody, Ukulele Jay here. And today I'm doing something that has to be inside because here in Northern California, we've been on not only COVID lockdown, but we've been on barbecue lockdown. We have a thing here called Spare the Air, which means you can't go outside and use your pellet stove, you can't use a stick burner, you can't use charcoal, you can't use anything that generates smoke. Just thinking about that, I gotta take a drink. You need that when you can't go outside and barbecue, what can I say? So today, I'm doing something that's pretty cool. I'm gonna sous vide a top sirloin. That's a big sucker. This is 2 pounds of meat, and I'm gonna sous vide it. I've got all the instructions in the video. You'll also hear all the things I'm doing. I'm also gonna make a really cool side dish, which is my Ukulele J potatoes and onions, done in Mangalitsa pork fat for the potatoes. And then we're gonna add those onions for an incredible flavored side dish. And for those of you that have seen my other videos on Mangalitsa pork, I just bought a whole pig. It's getting slaughtered on the 6th. I'll have it about 2 or 3 weeks after that. And then you're gonna see a whole lot of different pork cuts being cooked, hopefully outside, because I'm definitely not gonna sous vide most of this pork. It's gonna be smoked outside, including a whole pork belly, which is gonna be absolutely, you got it, scintillating. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy the video. Hope you enjoy the information on the Falcor Cabernet Sauvignon that I've actually paired with the meal today. And if you have any feedback, please leave it below. Click the subscribe notification button so you can be notified when I do other videos. And now, the show must go on. Thanks.
Smoking sous vide sommelier-ish. Ukulele J.
The top sirloin is located right underneath the tenderloin, which is where that filet mignon comes from. However, it's definitely not as tender as a filet. Look at this beautiful 2-pounder, grass-fed black Angus, very lean, so it's going to be tough. That's why we want to sous vide it. We're going to apply our Saskatchewan blackened seasoning, which I love. I'm going to use also some of my all-purpose salt, pepper, and garlic. We're going to coat it heavily on both sides because the sous vide is going to create some juices and it's going to take a lot of that seasoning off the meat. So you want to make sure you have plenty of it to be absorbed in the meat as things cook for the next 7 hours. And rather than wasting all that seasoning, go ahead and I use a tinfoil boat that I make so I can push it up on the sides. You can also pick the meat up and roll it over on the edges. In this case, I just wanted to show you one technique you can use. And then of course, the butter is one of the key ingredients you want to put. That's going to create that really fantastic au jus that you'll be able to use afterwards, either dip your meat or use it to create a sauce. So we're going to go ahead and put our meat in our sous vide bag, and then we're going to go ahead and make sure that you take the same amount of butter on the other side of the meat and just shove it underneath there. You could also flip the other side over if you want and put it on top. In this case, I just decided to shove it underneath. And when you're done with that, we're going to go ahead and seal the bag up and get it ready for our sous vide. Next, we're going to go ahead and seal our sous vide bag. I have a vac master here to seal the meat, and once it's sealed, it'll be ready to go. Make sure you leave enough room at the top of that bag because you'll notice here the juices start getting sucked up towards the top, and you do not want to have any of the liquid go between your seal and cause a problem. Which you can see is a nice tight seal, and now we're ready for our sous vide. Rubber ducky, you're the one. Okay, time to put the meat in the sous vide bath. You'll notice that this meat is going to sink. It should not float. And there it goes, like the Titanic. It is now at the bottom of the sous vide container, and we're going to go ahead and let that sit for a good 7 hours while we take care of other business in the kitchen. And on goes our lid. We've got this in a thermal insulated sleeve. Also, I have a thermal insulated top. That will keep all the water in the sous vide machine. I do not lose anything due to evaporation. And now it's time to prep those side dishes, folks. And I'm doing my Ukulele J potatoes in Mangalitsa pork fat with some onions. I've got those babies seasoned up. Look at that deliciousness in there. I'm gonna cook those for a while, probably 20 minutes. And then when that's done, nice and golden brown, we're gonna get our sweet onions going. We've got some paprika, smoked paprika. We're going to add that liberally, going to get some great color. It's going to really look beautiful with the caramelization. And then we're going to also add the all-purpose, which basically I use my Brookfields seasoning, It's salt, pepper, garlic, some spices, and it just makes a really good combination along with fresh ground pepper. Here the caramelization is almost done. Looks absolutely amazing. And here is the final dish with the ukulele J potato and sweet onion side dish. Isn't that scintillating? After the 7 hours, we're going to get ready and do our sear. Now when you're taking your meat out of your sous vide machine, usually it looks kind of grayish and not too attractive, but I got to tell you, this top sirloin grass-fed with the butter and the spices, the black pepper, when you come out of the bag, it just really looks good. It doesn't look that kind of yucky, grayish, milky kind of look. And that's one of the beauties of this, is making sure you keep that au jus cut off your corner. Do not throw that juice away. You'll be wasting 7 hours of goodness right there. So put it on the side. You can use it to dip. You can use it to make a roux and throw that together for a little bit of a gravy, whatever you want. Make sure you take your meat out of the bag once you've got all the au jus emptied. And look at that. That looks gorgeous right out of the sous vide machine. Most meat does not look that good. We're going to go ahead and take the paper towels and we're going to make sure it's really dry. And that's an important part of the process because dry meat gets a great sear. Wet meat does not get a good sear at all. Make sure you dry it on both sides really well. And then we're going to go ahead and get it ready for our sear. Here comes the 2 pounds of meat madness. This is a gorgeous specimen for a top sirloin. Look at that. It is seasoned incredibly well. That seasoning is stuck to that meat. We took our au jus, put it on the side. Now we're going to get our hex-clad pan, super hot. I love this hex-clad, and I don't put anything on it. Just stick the meat in it. I'm going to use a meat weight. We're going to have contact, full contact, and then we're going to go ahead and let that sit for 60 seconds. Now flip it over for another 60 seconds. Here we are with the double sear done on the hex-clad pan. Absolutely fantastic searing in those juices. We let it rest for about 20 minutes. And once we slice into it, you are now going to see the most juiciest, delicious top sirloin steak. The meat is done rare. The crust, look at that top crust around the edges, absolutely perfect. This is going to be a fantastic top sirloin paired with my ukulele J, Mangalitsa fat fried potatoes and onions, and paired with an incredible wine. And for today's wine, I'm digging deep, deep, deep in the cellar. I mean, we're talking really deep, going back to 2004 with the fantastic Cabernet Sauvignon from Falcor. That's right, 2004 Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon. This wine is grown from the soils of Rutherford. It has an elegant balance of ripe black fruit and well-integrated tannins. It is described as a very muscular and age-worthy wine. And I got to tell you, it is a muscular wine at 14.7% alcohol by volume. It is a little bit spicy, but that is what makes it magic with the meat. And for other daily postings, check out my Instagram at ukulelejbarbecue, and you'll see incredible cooking all week long.
Smoking sous vide sommelier-ish, ukulele J.